Jeremy.
Yeah, definitely don't put it in a PDF or anything. You have to put it in something in a medium that flat earthers understand, which so far the only one I know of is YouTube. So
we should put it in pop-up
video.
books.
You gotta put some nice music underneath it. You gotta just ramble on 200 facts.
I want to know what's causing the magnification. What's in the atmosphere that's causing the magnification, Jeremy?
What causes the magnification? That's what you'd have to experiment with, right?
But how can you make a claim if you don't even know what's causing it?
Oh, I told you it's a baseless assertion on my part. Absolutely.
So Kimo, what's causing it then?
I don't get what you mean. Like outside, what causes the lens in your?
Yeah, what causes lensing in the atmosphere?
Well, obviously that's like the water in the air.
Well, you got a problem with that. Because we don't see magnification when there's low humidity.
We see magnification.
We see the same thing. No, when the humidity changes, you don't see a difference.
No. Every time at the horizon, any horizon, there's magnification.
But there should be magnification here when there's 100% humidity. So you have a problem there, Kimo.
No, there's no issue because, like I said, every horizon is not.
Yes, there is. If you increase the humidity level, you should see a bigger effect, but yet we don't.
So, for example, the horizon, any horizon is not physical, so that horizon can be magnified towards you or away from you.
But how come we don't see changes when the humidity changes?
Yeah, we do. We see the horizon.
We definitely do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. The horizon's constantly changing.
That is the magnification. The horizon gets zoomed into you, and then it gets zoomed out. Away
how
from
come
you.
how come I have a humidifier, and when I add more humidity, how come things don't get magnified?
We're talking about at the horizon, dude.
So what's the difference between here and horizon?
Miles.
Yeah, the distance.
What are you gonna do it in your bedroom over 10 feet or over miles?
I can stand on a hill.
The amount of layers.
Or I can stand on a hill and things wouldn't change.
No, this is at the horizon and in the open atmosphere.
Well, this is further than horizon. This is about horizon. So you guys don't have any proof of this, so you guys are debunked.
Okay, me and Anthony West have no proof. I understand that.
I can stand at the end of the hill.
My bad, Andrew Thomas Young. My bad, I got the guys.
I can stand on the hill and take pictures every day. It'll look the same.
Anthony West was dope too, but Andrew Thomas Young is our refraction subject matter expert now.
Expertise.
So stupid.
Do you just quote QE all day, or what? Is this the new thing?
Well, what QE does a bit of digging. He finds out a bit of information and he puts it out there for the rest of us to have a look. I mean, we could find it just ourselves, but it's always who is first to the information and the research, right? It's like a race. And
so he's the only one with agency.
He finds it.
He's
off the mark like that, and he finds the information just like that. So the rest of us are digging. We're always looking for information, right?
And then his own sources debunk him. So sad day for him, I guess.
What is this magnification claim that they're making?
So the horizon doesn't stay still.
It looms.
Yeah, so there you go. It zooms forward, it zooms back.
No, it looms. LOOM, not zooms.
Yeah, it gets closer to you, right, or further away.
No, it looms. It gets higher or lower.
Yeah, so it gets higher, and it will be closer or lower and further.
No, it doesn't get closer. Not in any significant way. No.
Yeah, we've got the horizon of the Black Swan closer, and then on another day it's further.
That's a different horizons.
That's what we're talking about. That can be magnified.
Yeah, but it's not magnification. It's different horizons. It's different points in the water.
But what I'm saying is that you can see the horizon in front, and then it zooms itself away.
No, but that's the thing is that when you say zooms, you're getting it wrong because you're acting as if the actual points in the water are being pushed away from you or something. But that's not what happens.
No, what happens is the physical horizon, yes, that you say is apparent, or whatever you want to call it, that can be zoomed in by the atmosphere away.
No. What happens is that the points of water that were being blocked before in the back, farther away, they get loomed, so they come into sight. But they don't get zoomed forward. They get loomed up, and now you can see them, but they're still the same distance.
No, because the horizon is not physical, is it?
Sure it is, a physical thing. You can point to it, you can touch it.
No, again, that's what the Black Swan is demonstrating. That the horizon can move Be zoomed in closer to you or zoomed out away from you.
Well, it's not zooming in. Again, those are different points in the water. Like all the horizon is that if any given position you're standing in, when you look at the water, right? The horizon is just the line of water, just the last water that you can see before the sky. So some water is near you in the front, and then you can see water behind it and see water behind it. And there's a point where you can no longer see any water behind a line of water, and that line right there, that's the horizon.
All right, let me show you a picture. Obviously, a visual would help.
Put it on a big screen for him, Chemo. Put it on a big screen.
Well, yeah. Well, we are live anyway. So, for me, got the horizon forward on the left, and then the atmosphere zooms it back out behind that thought.
So like I said, those two horizons that we're looking at there, those are two different locations in the water.
Two different, yeah, I know, yeah, that's what we're saying. The horizon is.
So it's not the same location of the water being.
No, the apparent horizon be closer to us, and then the atmosphere did some magnification stuff and zoomed it back.
That's what I'm telling you, is that's not the case. What's the case is that you see something that you couldn't see before that was farther away, and you call that the horizon now. But nothing was magnified, nothing was zoomed away from you. It's just you're now able to see a further distant point.
All right. So you see the horizon on the right.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we bring that horizon closer to us? What can we do?
If you sink the horizon on the right, so that it is the line that you would call the horizon is now obstructed by water in front of it, the water in front of it will automatically become the new horizon. But it's not a magnification, it's not a zooming, you're not moving it, you're lowering it so that now you can no longer see it, and when you no longer can see it, it can't be the horizon. What is the horizon now is something that was closer to you.
Right, so you said the horizon's physical, yes?
Sure.
So the horizon on the right is physical.
Sure.
So how do I move that physical Earth towards me?
That's what I'm saying. That's not what's happening. Again, for the 50th time, you do not move things to you or away from you. What you do is you change what the most distant point is that you can see. And when you do that, you change where the horizon is.
But you can see the box around the object on the right, yeah? Box. Red box in that picture. A rectangle, yeah?
Sure, I guess so.
So we can see on the left, it fills up the red box. And on the right, it doesn't fill up the red box. The same object is now bigger, zoomed in, like I told you. And now on the left, it looks bigger than the one on the right. That's what we're telling you about magnification.
Yeah, that's probably just different zoom lens, or not a very good job at doing the box, or stand slightly closer, or any number of.
No, this is the same exact location, same elevation.
Well, it can't be the exact location. I mean, how's it the exact location?
That's what we thought, and that's why we became flat earthers, and a lot more people became flat earthers.
But I'm saying, how could you possibly be in the exact same location?
That's what I'm saying.
It's like you can't freeze. You can't. He's obviously going to be a little bit off.
But that's what I'm saying. The people are like, it just can't be. There's no way he can be in the same location at the same elevation.
So therefore, it could be anything.
It's a concave Earth.
No, but that's what I'm saying, Veet. People were surprised. That's why remember that guy came here and said because of the black swan.
I'm saying it's impossible, so it didn't happen. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying that guy who came here the other day, just last week, he said I'm a flat earther because of the black swan and stuff.
That's great for him, but it's hardly relevant to what we're talking about.
Yeah, because he's thinking, well, if the horizon is here forward in the left, and then it moves back, who zoomed it away from us?
What?
Who did that? Cutting up, Veet.
Does that make sense?
Bro, cut that. I didn't hear a word you just.
Oh, it doesn't move towards you or away from you. You're just changing what point in the water you can see.
Yeah, I think Discord had a hiccup there.
Can't just say it's not when we can see it in the image, Veet.
I'm telling you what it is that you're saying, and it makes perfect sense with the idea of looming. You know what looming is.
You said in your initial statement,
you raise something or you lower something, and then you can see how looming will cause you to change where you see.
Okay. So you said in your initial statement you can touch the horizon, it's physical, yeah?
Sure.
Sure. But if I go and stand at the horizon on the right and touch it as you said, how is it the next day I'm
Yes.
now in front of the platforms?
It's a different horizon the next day. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I don't move. I stay in the same place.
Unfortunately for you, horizons aren't fixed like that. So a horizon is relative to a person. So you have to be going to my horizon, for example. And the horizon is going to depend on the conditions of the day. So one point in the water might be the horizon of today, and another point in the water might be the horizon tomorrow.
Okay, but what I'm asking you is if I stand at the horizon, as you said, on the one...
Like, say, today's horizon for me.
Yeah, so we're looking through this camera, and you see me standing at the horizon.
Okay, there you are. I see you.
You see me, you see the platforms, you see me stand at the horizon. And then the next day, I'm now in front of the... I didn't move, but I'm now in front of the platform.
If you didn't move, then you probably aren't seen the next day.
No, I didn't move, but you see me in front of the platform.
No, because you wouldn't... Because, again, if you're standing at the same place you were yesterday, that line will no longer be the horizon. So you'll probably be hidden now.
Yeah, but you said it's physical, the horizon.
Yeah, that's physical.
So if the horizon moves, what am I standing on?
Well, there's not just one horizon. So in 2 different days, you have different horizons. They're both physical, but the horizon that was yesterday is not the same horizon that will be today.
Yeah, so how did it move?
It didn't move. It's a different horizon. It's a different point in the water.
But the one I'm standing at, you're saying now there is a new horizon, and that horizon I'm standing is no longer the Earth curve. Things don't disappear behind
You're no longer standing on the horizon. You were standing on what was the horizon yesterday, but today we got a different horizon.
That's what I'm asking. Yesterday's horizon, on the one on the right, where I'm standing, the sun goes over that horizon, ships go over that horizon, then tomorrow you're saying it will go over a different horizon.
Yeah, correct. Remember, it's relative to a person. That's right.
Welcome to
and
Flat
depending
Earth,
upon the
then,
conditions.
Veach.
Well, that's just the way it is.
I know. You've seen
But
it.
it's not flat Earth. It's a round Earth. I don't know why you say welcome to flat Earth.
Because you've got the physical Earth moving.
No, the physical Earth doesn't move. It's just a different point that becomes the horizon.
You said the Earth horizon's physical.
No,
the patch of ground that you see as the horizon is
No, but
light
Veach said it was
bouncing off of a
physical.
object.
And now
it is physical, but there's not just one of them. It's different every day. So every day it's a different point. Every day it's a physical point, but it's not the same physical point as yesterday. Every day is gonna have its own unique day physical horizon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get what's so hard to understand about this. It's all about your horizon is going to be that area that's the last bit that you can see from where light bounces off the ground and then travels on a path and reaches your eye. That's easy. That's light bouncing off a physical location, Kimo.
Yeah, but what I'm asking Veach is if I'm at the physical horizon and the sun and boats go down bottom first at that horizon, so that means it should do that. It won't do that the same tomorrow and every day.
That's right, because on a different day we'll have a different point. This is the horizon, and so again, it's all relative to a person. So for that person, they're going to see the ships disappearing bottom up at a different place.
Yeah, so that means then I don't have to go higher in elevation to see further. I can just wait, like you said, because it moves every day.
Well, the horizon is different every day, but it doesn't differ by necessarily a large amount. If you want to see further, your best bet is to go higher.
Or, just like you said, just wait and it will move around.
It's not necessarily going to move it to any distance that you want to see, though.
Well, it could do. It just moves around. It's not physical, Veach. So if it's...
Well, it doesn't move arbitrarily. It doesn't move infinitely. It moves within a set parameters. It moves within a constrained space. So let's say you want to see, 40 miles away. You're never going to get the horizon just to pop over there for you one day.
Well, you could do. It depends on the conditions, the atmosphere.
I don't think you could.
No, that would require much more refraction than the air could possibly give you, Kimo.
So
you'd be waiting a long time, Kimo.
A long time for what? To see from...
For that day where the refraction is way that far away.
Well, to see from 1 mile, and then I can see 10 miles.
No, 40 miles, I said.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, so you're saying the ranges I can see from 1 mile to 10 miles further.
And honestly, it depends on where you're at.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It depends. Yeah. So I could see...
But it has constraints on it. It doesn't go arbitrarily large.
What are those constraints?
The atmosphere.
What's the furthest you can see then from 1 foot? What are those constraints?
It's not going to be...
Keep breaking up, Veach. You need to fix your microphone.
it's not going to be 50 miles. That's my guess.
Yeah, I'm asking, what is the furthest you can see?
I don't know. We'd have to look into it.
Well, how are you going to find out?
How are you going to find out?
We have the Black Swan. It tells us that we have a.
I'm gonna ask you. What's the limit on that?
Well, according to the model, it says 1.2 miles. That's the furthest you can see.
I don't think that's what it says.
Yeah, if you're 1 foot off the ground. Yeah.
Chemo, that would mean that our model says that refraction doesn't exist, and that's not true. Don't lie.
Yeah,
like
refraction
that.
does exist for.
Your model says that it drops 8 inches per mile squared, so at just 1 mile, that's 8 inches. So something that 8 inches can't even be seen from 1 mile. That's what Scott believes, right, Scott?
I'm not sure what you're talking about, David.
In 1 mile, you've got 8 inches of drop. If you did a swimming pool, that swimming pool would be 8 inches lower at one end than the other end if you leveled it out, the water inside of it, right?
A swimming pool is a mile long?
Leveled out the water inside.
Yeah, the water inside and the swimming pool both would be curved 8 inches if you had a mile-long swimming pool, correct?
Roughly, I guess. That's an approximation.
Okay, so if you go 2 miles, that'd be 16, right? What does it go, 72?
Yeah.
Then it gets real big.
It breaks down after a while, but yeah.
Well, so Scott, you'd say within 5 miles, you shouldn't be able to see anything that's 5 or 6 feet tall, right?
I forget, but something maybe like 10 miles. I don't remember exactly what the distance is.
And that depends on the height of the viewer.
Yeah,
and
it depends on where you're
day.
standing, exactly.
I just want to get back to this horizon. So you're saying, Veach, it can move from place to
Chemo,
place.
why are you acting like you haven't been told this all before?
What I'm telling you, Chemo, is that the horizon changes every day where it is.
Yep.
It does so within constraints.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't an actual same point that's somehow zooming away or zooming forward. You're changing which point on the water you perceive to be the horizon.
So how do you explain then ships and the sun going over the horizon?
What do you mean? How would you not explain it?
Well, you just said it moves. It's never in one place.
No, I said it does not move. Let's be very, how many times you say it with me so we can get on the same page. The horizon does not move. It changes, but it does not move. Because to move would mean the same point in the water would, I don't know, be pushed back or pushed forward, but that's not what's happening.
But
you're changing which point in the water you perceive to be the horizon. So it doesn't move. You change what you're looking at.
But is the horizon in the same place then in this image? These two pictures?
No, it's in different places, it looks like.
So you just said it's not in different places. It's in one place.
No, I didn't say that. I said that the horizon is different every day. That's not because one point in the water moves. It's because you change which point in the water you're calling the horizon.
Yeah, so
what you perceive to be the horizon is different each day.
That's what I'm asking you. So the physical horizon moves every day. Is that what you're saying? Yes.
Well, it doesn't move, like I just said. It doesn't move. So
it doesn't stay in the same.
We'll go one word at a time. The horizon doesn't move. Did you get that? Will you say that back with me?
Well, is it in the same place in this picture?
No, I don't know which pictures you mean, but if you mean the Black Swan pictures, I think those are two different.
Let me post it again for you in the chat.
If you mean the Black Swan, I think it's two different points of the water.
There are two different points that you have light
in this image
off of that are reaching the
are
sensor.
the horizons in the same place?
Simple.
No, I just told you 2 different points in the water.
They're not in the same place.
2 different points in the water.
Yeah, is that in the same place?
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. You said it didn't move, but they're not in. Are they in the same place?
What does different mean to you? What does different mean to you?
I'm trying to figure out. Are they in the same place?
They're 2 different points in the water. So
for example, if I stood at the horizon at the one on the right, I'd be in one place, and then I'd go and stand at the one on the left. I'd be in a different place, right?
Yep.
So I would have moved.
You would have moved if you want to change where you're standing. Yep.
Yeah, if I go on one horizon on the left and one horizon on the right, did I move?
You're walking to 2 different horizons. 2 different horizons.
Did I move?
Yeah, like you moved between 2 different buildings, but the buildings didn't move.
No, but did I move though, or did I change?
If you want to move yourself between one horizon and another horizon, sure.
Yeah, but the
horizons don't move though. You moved.
Okay, so the horizon that I'm standing at on the right is now I'm standing in a different place on the left.
No, hold on. It's like, say, 2 buildings. If you want to walk from one building to the other building, you move. Do the buildings move? No, you've changed which building you're in. 2 different buildings.
I'm saying.
Now, hold on. This analogy will work for you, I think.
Go on.
In the same sense, think of the horizons as a bunch of buildings. One day we have building X is going to be the horizon. Tomorrow, building Y will be the horizon. You can walk between building X and Y. The buildings don't move. We're just looking at a different building now.
Okay, so you go back to the picture. Do you see the picture?
Yeah, I've seen it.
You see it now?
I'm not looking at it directly, no.
All right, let me post it for you.
Well, posting won't help. If you want me to look at it directly,
so you can see I want you to look at the one I'm talking about. Yeah, this picture here. So
okay, I'm looking at it.
So if you see the one, the platform on the right, we can see the legs. Yeah? The legs.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to stand there where you can see me, you can see the legs.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the physical horizon you're saying, yes?
That's one horizon one day, yeah.
One horizon one day. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So now I'm going to stay at that position behind where the legs are. Now the next day you don't see me because I'm obstructed.
Yeah.
So how did the Earth get in front of me? The obstruction.
Well, it didn't get in front of you. It's just that you were loomed the other day, and now you're not being loomed.
Yeah, but if I go to stand on the horizon on the one on the left, I've got to move, haven't I?
If you want to stand on two different spots in the water, you got to move. Yeah.
So it's not a physical horizon then, yes? It moved.
It is the physical horizon. Just what is the horizon changes each day, but every day it's physical.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is
the piece of physicality that's blocking your view, Chemo, can be a difference. It can be at a different point according to how light bends.
Think about it like this.
You've been taught this.
Think about it like this. In American football, we have a line of scrimmage, right? Mm-hmm. The line of scrimmage is a physical thing. You can go touch the line of scrimmage. Where is the line of scrimmage? Well, it changes constantly. It's a different spot all during the game. But every time it's at a different spot, you can still touch it. It's physical in that spot. That's like the horizon. The horizon's like a line of scrimmage. It's always changing.
So, look, the image, you're looking at the picture still, yeah?
Did you get that analogy, though?
Not quite, no. Because I'm talking about
is the line of scrimmage something that you can touch? You see how that's physical?
I don't even know what it is.
A line of play? Or like a line of offsides in your football?
A line of offsides? Oh,
you know how there's an offsides line? If somebody's caught behind the offsides line, there'll be offsides? You've seen football, haven't you?
No, I've seen this image of the Black Swan.
Your analogy was good. The line of scrimmage analogy was good, but the offsides line is terrible.
Well, I'm just giving. It's the same thing, but I'm just giving one that he'll have seen.
Move.
Yeah, it does. Offsides moves. It depends on where the last defender is.
Right.
It moves all the time.
So look,
hey, Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy, hush. If you don't know what you're talking about, maybe
is it a rectangle around the field?
No, it's not. You idiot.
The line of scrimmage is the physical line.
Shut, Jeremy. You're fine.
Jeremy,
did you really just get the boundary line confused with the
offside line? I don't think he's ever.
Soccer, bro.
All right, well then maybe you should shut the fuck up. All right, Kimo. So you understand now?
Okay, so you see the image, yes?
Yeah, it's in my head.
Good. So if I'm standing at the legs where that platform is, and you can see me, there's no obstruction in front of me. You can see me, yeah? But the next day, the obstruction, you can't see me. Why?
Oh my God.
Why?
Because you're no longer being loomed. You were being loomed the other day.
So you see me on the right because I'm being loomed.
Yep.
So the horizon there is not a physical one then.
It's physical.
What am I looming over?
You're looming the physical horizon.
No, I'm in front of the horizon. I'm at the platform on the right.
Yeah.
So
on any given day, whatever the last line of point in the water that we can see is the horizon, okay? It may be being loomed, or it may be in its actual position, or close to it. If it's being loomed, it's still a physical thing. We're just seeing it higher than it actually is. If it's not being loomed, it's a physical thing. We're seeing it where it actually is. And tomorrow, it'll be a different point in the water that's the horizon, and it'll be a physical.
So that's what I'm asking you. So when I'm obstructed by that obstruction on the left, then tomorrow that obstruction will not be there. Then you'll be able to see me.
Okay. Because you got loomed, I guess.
Over what?
Over the obstruction.
I got loomed over the obstruction.
Yeah, so like if the last point of line of water that you can see on one day is at some distance, okay? All the water that's behind it is being obstructed by that last line of water. All the water in front obstructs the water in the back. Now, if you take the water in the back and you loom it, i.e. raise it, so you raise it up so that it's now no longer being obstructed by the water in the front, well, that's where you get a new horizon, because now the water that you can see, the last line of water that you can see is a different line of water.
So why didn't I loom up with it then?
You did.
No, but you
You're
can't
standing on
see
it.
me now on the right. On the one on the left, I'm obstructed.
On the one left, you're obstructed, yeah, because you aren't being loomed.
Yeah, so the horizon loomed, you said, but I didn't.
Yeah, and if you're standing there with it, you'll loom too.
Yeah, but I'm obstructed. I'm standing where the legs are.
Not if you're being loomed with it, you're not.
What?
If the horizon is loomed and you're standing on the horizon, you'll be loomed along with it.
All right, so let me explain it again. I'm at the legs, at the one on the platform on the right.
This is like if you decided. This is like if Mike Tyson decided to have a fist fight with an infant. What are you doing right now?
I'm just chatting.
You see the image, Veach? You want to post it again?
In my head, I do. I have it memorized.
Oh, let me show you what we're looking at. So
You should post it again, probably.
the image on the right.
Thank God you posted it again.
Yeah, the image on the right. If I'm standing at the legs, where you can see me, you can see the legs, you can see me.
Yeah.
No obstruction in front of me. No earth is blocking me from you to me. Yeah, I can see you can see me.
Okay, cool.
So now the next day...
Are we waving?
We're waving, we've got lasers, we've got all that stuff.
I see you.
Now the next day, you have obstruction in the way. You can't see me.
Uh-oh.
How did that happen?
That's because on the day that I could see you, you were being loomed. You're being loomed above the thing that's obstructing you on the other day.
It's being loomed from where?
From where it was, from below the point of horizon, from the part where it's being obstructed.
Yeah, but we have a straight line of sight. I can see you, you can see me.
Because they're being loomed. If you weren't being loomed, we would not have this.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Why what?
So how can we see the horizon behind the platform?
Because it's being loomed. So the way you don't know, do you we need to go over looming? Is that the deal?
Yeah, the horizon. How is that?
Do you know
how is it looming and I'm not looming?
Well, you are looming. If you're standing on the horizon, you're looming.
Yes, but I'm now obstructed. You can't see me. The legs are obstructed.
No, that was only that's only on the day you're not looming. If you're looming, you're not being obstructed.
So how did the horizon then move then? If the horizon's looming,
the horizon changed. It didn't move.
I don't know what you mean by the horizon moving, Chemo.
No, looming. Scott said looming.
You said moving.
Well, I would have to move to see me again. I'd have to move, right?
What do you mean?
So if I'm at the platform legs where you can see me on one day, and then on the next day you can't see me, in order for you to see me, I would have to move.
No, on the next day that we can't see you, if we're not seeing you right then yeah, if you want us to see you, you're either gonna have to wait for another day where you're loomed or move. Yeah.
No, you've already said it's looming. You said the horizon is looming.
Not if you're being obstructed. It's not. I think you're getting your days mixed up. You're going backwards.
Yeah.
So on the day in which we can see you, you're being loomed. The day in which we can't see you, you're not being loomed. You're being obstructed.
So if I'm standing in front of you, you're saying that we're looming.
You're standing in front of me in all these versions.
Yeah. So who's looming?
It depends on the situation. But in the situation you're talking about, where we have a pillar of an oil rig out in the distance in the water, and we can see that in some days we can see more of it than we can on other days, and we know the reason for that is that in some days it's being loomed. Well, that's you're looming then.
But that's you guessing, really, because I'm leaving you from the boat. I can see you. You can see me. We haven't broken eye contact. We haven't broken visual.
Oh, I bet because it'd be awkward if we kept eye contact the whole time.
Well, that's the idea, is to make sure that you're not seeing things. Yeah.
I can't commit to this eye contact thing, but otherwise, I'm with you.
Well, this is for science. This is for an experiment. This is for the sake of
even
truth.
So, dude. Even so, it's just weird. There's no need for it. Just I'll keep track of you.
At which point then will we start looming as I move away from you?
Well, that's really hard to say. It'll happen organically and in increments and continuously.
How far? What's the distance?
It'll vary on days. It'll vary by so many factors. It'll be nearly impossible to predict exactly when and where it will happen.
Yeah, so a day like today, like you saw today.
It's just impossible to predict. I don't have anywhere near enough data to do it.
But you don't know what kind of day you had today?
Oh, I need to know way more than what kind of day I had today. I mean, come on.
Yeah, what was the weather like?
Yeah, but I need a lot more than just what was the weather like.
You didn't go outside today?
I'd have a lot more than just go outside today. I need just to put it in perspective, I need I don't know, a few million points of measurement for temperature, density, and humidity and things like that in a grid, like a 3-dimensional grid that runs from between me and wherever you're going to be, so that I can model out what the atmosphere is doing.
When have you ever done that before?
Never.
What are you talking about?
That's how I need to do it. If you want me to predict to you exactly when you're going to start looming, that's the data I would need.
Well, who's done that before?
But, what do you call them? Meteorologists.
Show us. Let's have a look.
I don't know where it is. You have to
What
go
are you
look for it.
talking about? What are you making?
You guys have got to learn.
For?
You guys have got to learn to use Google. What you should do is go to Google Scholar. Here's how you'll find it. Type in meteorology, atmosphere science, refraction, and then if you aren't getting good hits, then throw in things like cubic data points or grid of data points, things like that, and then it'll pop up. I'm sure.
Is that how you do it? Yeah.
Yeah. You just gotta be. You can't give up. That's the key.
Scott, you know he can't read. He can't.
He can read. You can't give up. You have to keep thinking. Okay, well, what would be another search term that would maybe trigger the find? A lot of times, I find the flat earthers just they try like distance to sun and then they give up.
But that's
otherwise, I mean, how else can you explain that Nathan still asks every day, "What's the distance to the sun?" And they go, "We don't know."
Well, how can you if you're not taking into your variables or these variables that you're counting for here? You need a
distance
meteorologist,
to the sun
right?
doesn't need these variables. That's a different topic.
Well, you need a meteorologist, right?
No, not for distance to the sun. You need astronomer.
Well, you're looking through. Go on, David.
I got a question real quick. All right, Scott. So Chemo's there at that leg of that oil rig, okay? And you can see him all day. Y'all are waving at each other. You believe he's being loomed up and that he's really below the horizon, but because of the optics, yeah, he's being loomed up. But it gets nighttime, and Chemo pulls out a flashlight, and he starts flashing that flashlight at you, and you see it right at your face. You think that light versus the daytime, you believe he's below the horizon, yes or no?
You broke up there the question.
If he's still being loomed, it doesn't matter the difference, Dave. I don't understand the point of the question.
So you believe that at night you get loomed up at night?
What do you say?
I believe that the path is. He's asking if we believe that light can be loomed at night. It depends, and that's just really going to depend on the atmosphere. Of course.
I didn't ask that. I said if Chemo could be seen all day and you believe that he's being loomed up because it's past the point of the 8 inches per mile square where you should be able to see somebody on your ball model where you come up with the idea, well, there's no way that he's actually being seen because we live on a spinning ball flying through outer space at 66,600 miles an hour. So we'll just wait till nighttime and see if we can see a flashlight in his hand. And at night, you can see that flashlight just clear as a bell. He flashes it back and forth. Is that flashlight looming?
Yeah, that should be looming then.
Okay, there we go. Chemo, there's your mental block. Thank you very much.
It's okay.
I was on a mental block.
Fine. So how does nighttime refraction work then, Pete?
I don't know. I mean, he said if I saw that flashlight, when the flashlight is below the horizon, then yes, it would have to have been loomed. Now, is that a scenario that's likely to happen or possible? I have no idea.
Anyway, look.
If it was happening that way, that's what would be going on.
Okay.
Beach, think about it this way. If the orientation of the atmosphere is still the same that it caused looming in the light, looming in the daytime, any new light added to that medium is still going to refract in the same way the medium is oriented.
Well, if everything stays the same, agreed. I mean, I imagine that when nighttime comes, the truth is the refraction is going to change dramatically because of the density in the air is going to change.
I'm saying the only factor that you changed was daytime versus nighttime. And all other factors remain the same. It would still travel the same path.
Oh, that's why I said it's still be loomed. If we can see it, it's still being loomed. But probably we won't be able to see it then.
All right, so what you're saying is that light's being loomed. So if you took somebody and put them on the opposite direction, looking down, looking from the side at you, you would actually see the light bending from Chemo to you on the shore versus Chemo on the deal. If you were standing off to the left or the right at a distance, you would actually see the light curve in a curve over the horizon and back down to Chemo.
I mean, barring any kind of like goofy gotchas about like, can you see light like that? But in principle, yeah, what you're saying is, yeah, in principle, not in practicality, but yeah, if you could see the light and it was arcing for you and you could make it out and all that. Yeah, but it would curve. You'd see the curve.
Especially since from a side view, that'd be less than a degree of curvature. It'd be a little less than half a degree.
Yeah, it's not much, huh?
All right, Chemo, you're boring. All right, let me ask you this question, Scott. If I went and measured the top of the water versus the bottom of the water from shoreline to to the next island, will C4 miles prove flat Earth or not? I mean, curvature of the Earth.
When you say bottom of the water, you mean the seafloor? You mean the seafloor?
If I go to Hawaii and I see an island, and you say, well, there's no way that you could see that island because that island's being loomed up, right? Because one day you can see it, the next day you can't, et cetera, et cetera. So you're not seeing that island. So if I went and I knew exactly how many feet it was on top of that water, just say I measured the number of feet from one island to another, and say it's 100,000 feet. And then I go down and I measure the bottom of the water from shoreline to shoreline on the bottom. So I've measured the bottom of the sea floor back to that other island, and say it's 150,000 feet. So you take those two deals, you should be able to measure the curvature of the Earth in those two distances, right?
Yeah, in theory. I mean, if those surfaces are smooth and there's enough of a distance, and the error margin isn't too low or too big, then in theory that would work.
I say, didn't we come up with something like the entirety of the Suez Canal from on its surface to its bottom was only something like 50 foot difference? Only something like 50 foot difference.
But maybe the Atlantic Ocean. Maybe if you could smooth out the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, maybe it would be more. I mean, look, it's not practical no matter how you slice it, but in theory.
All right, Chemo, the only way to prove the curvature of the Earth, I just explained it to you, so you better get on the ball, bud.
Yeah, you got to measure the sea floor. Good luck.
You just have to measure if it's on a lake. It doesn't matter if it's a lake or a pond or a lake.
What's going to cause problems? But David, what's going to cause problems is that, like what Peck just said, is it's going to have to be very deep in order for the difference to be measurable. If it's not that deep, then you're not going to be able to tell the difference.
Well, it's just like a lake over here in East Texas. It's almost 300 feet deep. I mean,
I think you need more like. How deep's the Suez Canal, Peck?
I don't know. It's not very deep. That's what they were saying about the Nile. The Nile's only got 1 foot of difference from one end to the other. So.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
I want to say the Suez Canal it's like 100 feet or so on average.
Oh wow, that's crazy. How deep is the ocean, like the Atlantic Ocean, like in general?
It depends on what part of it.
No, I mean just roughly. Like compared to the
Earth. Compared to the Earth, it's like the skin of an apple. If the Earth was an apple or some shit.
But I mean, is it a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles?
2 miles. There you go. That's the idea.
On average.
2 miles? Is that what you said?
Average, yeah.
Okay.
All right, now I've got a more serious question. If a boat is over the horizon and you got 2 chicks up sunbathing on the bow of the boat, can the fat one get loomed as much as the skinny one?
Looming is completely non-exclusive, and it loves everyone equally. It does not discriminate.
Lost your virginity to one over the other. Does it count?
But how is it strong enough to lift them both equally?
Well, it uses.
Seems like it would take more effort to loom the fat chick.
Well, but see, fat chick will need more love, and so it finds more love for the fat chick.
Yeah,
that's where it gets its strength from.
The fat chick has more moisture.
Oh, okay.
It's gross, man. Is that the kind of moisture you're looking for?
Produces more heat, sweats more. Fuck, you guys are sick.
I had a friend who had
talking about bad girl sweat. That's pretty sick.
I guess David has a bit of a thing for that, huh? I had a friend who had that, it was like, what do you call him? A chaser.
Chubby chaser.
Yeah. He was really skinny, but he was obsessed with fat girls for some reason.
Interesting. We all have our fetishes, right?
Yeah. He's my cousin. He's my cousin. His name's Scotty.
He likes to slap the ass to ride the wave in.
Wait. Your cousin's name is Scotty?
Well, he's Scott, but he goes by Scotty. Because I'm named after my mom's last name, maiden name was Scott, so that's why I'm just called Scott.
My nephew's name is Jeremiah, and I was like, Like, oh wow, you named him after me. She's like, what? No. I was like, what the fuck are you? Why is his name Jeremiah then? What the fuck are you doing? Get him out of my family.
That guy, the cousin that was there's a chaser. He disappeared. He's missing at large for like 8 years now.
Okay, well, you're under investigation, sir.
Well, I don't think
you wanted to be the only Scott.
I think the consensus is like it's a voluntary. You know, he was messed up, but I don't think it was like an abduction. I think it was he said F you guys and just never looks back.
Hold on, Veach. Is that you conceding now then that the Earth is flat? Black Swan shows that there was no physical horizon.
So there was a physical horizon.
So there was, yeah?
Yeah.
So if it's physical...
Hey, Chemo, let me just say something. He just told you how to measure the curvature of the Earth. My idea is the way that you do it. I've been telling you that you measure the seafloor versus the surface, and if there's curvature of the Earth, it can be measured in that. Once you do that, that's the only way that you're going to do it. Pictures will never. It's like pictures from space. How are you ever going to argue a picture from space? They tell you they're real. So why makes you ever think that they're ever going to believe your pictures that you show on the ground? So the only way to do it is to measure the actual surface of the water and the sea floor. Thank you very much.
Welcome very much.
I agree with David.
Sure. Okay, so let's get back to this point. So the horizon, you say, is the apparent horizon. You're saying is physical, yeah?
The horizon is physical, yeah.
What we define as the apparent horizon.
Well, the apparent horizon is just the horizon at where we see it.
What makes the horizon physical?
The fact that it's a line in actual physical water that you can touch.
But it's not in a physical location, yeah?
Well, it is in a physical location, but sometimes we're seeing it in a location different than where it's physically located.
Oh, Scott, I get it. The pencil that's in the water, in the glass, is not physical.
No, it's physical.
Only the part above the water is physical. The pencil in the water, no longer physical. Not a physical pencil.
Oh, do we live in a container?
No, according to Chemo, it's not physical.
Oh, we live in a container. Is that what you're suggesting?
Huh. Well, yeah, that is what he's suggesting. You're right, Colonel. I see your point. He is saying that. You're right.
I think he's suggesting we live in a container, yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good point. What Colonel said is a really good point.
That's a good point, yeah. He agrees with us that we live in a container.
No, he's saying that the pencil that you've seen in water where it gets displaced and you see it all turned at a weird angle, and you know you're not looking at where the pencil actually is. But would you say the bottom of the pencil is not physical?
But that pencil looks bigger, right?
But would you say the bottom of the pencil is not physical?
Well, I would say it looks bigger than the original pencil.
That's not my question. My question is, would you say the bottom is not physical? It is physical, right?
If I was to aim for that larger size pen, I wouldn't be hitting a physical pen. I wouldn't have line of sight to the physical pen there.
But there's a physical pen there, right? The bottom didn't just disappear or something. It's there somewhere, yeah.
It's not where it appears to be.
But there's a physical pencil there, right?
That sounds like the horizon. It's not where it appears to be.
Exactly. Yeah. That's where it's been magnified. I've been saying that. It's been magnified.
And if you take the physical pencil away, you'll
lose. Good point, Curved. Well
pencil.
Done. Helped us out here.
If you take the physical pencil away, you'll lose the apparent.
But when you put that pencil in, it magnifies, right?
Gosh.
And it doesn't...
Why are you interrupting?
I'm responding to Curved. He asked about the pen. He wasn't asking you.
You're not responding to me. You're deflecting from me.
The pen, Curved.
Don't mention my name.
The pen.
So what I was saying, Chemo, was if you remove the physical pencil, you also lose the apparent pencil. And so without the physical, there is no apparent, which means that when you're looking at the apparent, you're looking at the physical. You're just not looking at it where it is.
Yeah, but you don't have line of sight to that magnified pencil. Not physical.
It is physical.
Look, here we go. The straws. Look at the straws here that are magnified. What virus?
What do you think it is? You think it becomes
Look what virus? Very good point, Curved. You always have.
Could you run your hand underneath the water and it wouldn't hit the pencil?
Curve, I just want to congratulate Curve's good points. He continuously gives us assistance. Exactly what we're trying to achieve here.
It's assistance for you. It was a good point, but it's a good point. But I don't really see how it helps you.
Well, we can see we can see that the pencils are larger than the original pencil. See, and what we have is the same thing, like Curve just showed us, that they magnify.
Chemo, no, it's not. I don't know what
Perfect,
you're
Curve.
getting
That's
at,
wonderful.
but see, Curve's whole point was that the light that bounced off of that pencil so that you could perceive it, it still had to bounce off of something physical. You're still seeing something physical. You're just seeing it distorted.
No, but the larger pencil is not physical. If you
It's
were
at a
to
different
aim,
angle, Chemo. It's at a different angle.
If you were to aim for the larger pencil, you would be firing at water, yes, and glass.
Well, it's at a different angle.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying that the larger pencil that's been magnified, yes, curved. Thank you very much.
It's not always magnified.
Yeah, but we can see it's larger. Yeah.
Not always, no.
Not always. It depends
Not larger.
It's going to depend. It's going to depend on how you've done it.
Well, let's have a look then where it's not larger.
Okay.
Depends on the glass.
Get a glass of water. Get some water. Put a
We've got one right here on the big
There's a
screen.
good 50-50 chance. There's a good 50-50
two
chance it won't be
pencils
larger.
here. Both are larger.
All right, go for it. Try it.
We've got it. We've done it. It's on the big screen right here, right now. Let me post it for you.
I can't see.
If you use a square cup,
There
is
you
it
go.
not going to do that?
Larger. Look how look how bigger it is.
It'll depend if you on the it depends very much on the glass.
The angle of the glass. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Larger pen. Thank you, Curved. Thanks, Curved,
those are curved
for showing
cups.
the magnification. That's exactly what we needed to show.
And if I did it with a cup that had had concave surfaces on it, instead of convex, then it would be smaller.
You know what I want? I want a light.
Stand the straw straight up in the center of the glass, Chemo. Since it's your glass, your straws that you're using a camera to look at it on the big screen. Go ahead.
Thanks, Curved. You helped out our argument
Stand
about
up the
magnification.
middle of the glass, Chemo.
This is exactly what we were talking about, Veach. Is that the magnification?
You can't do that, can you?
Magnification.
I'm sorry. You think are you saying you think that the ocean or the water is in a big giant glass?
Well, Curve says it's going to container.
You think there's a glass between us
I think how
and the
Curve thinks on this moment.
horizon?
We both think container. We both think magnification. We both
But I'm
think
just
the
trying to
atmosphere is
understand. Are you
water.
suggesting that there's a glass?
Yes,
like as in a cup
me and Curve
between
are
us
suggesting
and the
the
horizon.
atmosphere is water.
I'm not asking. I'm asking a question. Let me
magnification.
finish the question. Hey, Kim, are you suggesting there's a curved glass between me and the horizon? Is that what you're saying is happening? The big giant glass?
That's me and the scientist Curve. That's our hypothesis. Yes.
That's your hypothesis. I don't think Curve has a hypothesis.
Yeah, he brought it up.
All right.
He brought it up,
Okay.
and he reminded us of
No,
our
I don't think
past
he did. I think that
experiments
you
that we've done.
I think
Not
that
even
you
let me
sort of
finish now, Veach. I
played
can't
this
even
out
talk
there.
now. I can't even
Well,
respond.
it's okay.
So you
okay
can talk,
because
and I'm going to
you're not
speak. Well,
saying
you just
anything
talk then.
real.
You carry on speaking then, but don't go into your
Okay.
social element
Thank you.
because we need to stick on topic.
Yeah, okay. Well, so it just doesn't seem like you're saying anything real. But if your claim is that there's a big giant glass between us and the horizon, then maybe we could move on to a different topic.
Yeah.
I think you won then. If you think there's a big giant glass, congratulations, you got it.
No, you're trying to prevent me from speaking. You're muting me. You're telling me to move on. You're not letting me respond. You're not letting me answer. Me and Curve have brought up a very important point about magnification and how it's larger and how there's a container, and you're brushing over that.
Well, I'm asking if there's a big giant glass, and you said
You're
yes.
not even letting me respond to anything. You're just talking over me, and you're saying, "Let's move on."
Answer the question, Chemo.
We have
Is there a glass
rebuttals,
between
me and
us?
Curved here. We support one another in this moment because we suggest that there's magnification,
Okay.
we suggest there's a container, and we suggest that there's water in the atmosphere that causes this.
So is there a big giant glass between us and the horizon?
What they say is a glass dome. So, you know,
So is that
goes
a
in the
yes?
right
Is that
path
what you're
there.
saying? A yes?
There's a glass
Chemo, are
dome,
you
we're
saying
told.
there's a glass between us? No, Chemo, listen to the question as he asked it to you. Are you saying there's a glass between us and the horizon?
Well, we don't know. Have you tested it?
Okay, so you don't know if there's a big glass between us and the horizon. And
That's what
your
I've
new
just
hypothesis.
told you. That's what we
Okay.
hypothesize, right? Curve, you
Okay,
presented the
congratulations.
magnification. We've got the demonstration. Do you have an experiment to prove otherwise, Veach?
No, I don't. You know what? You guys are probably you're probably right, and I congratulate you on your new idea, and wish you the best of luck in getting it out there.
Yeah, and that's what we have, and that's how science dictates and what we know.
Mm-hmm. A big giant glass.
So welcome to Flat Earth, Veach. Finally.
Well, I don't know about that, but a big giant glass.
What don't you know about? What you're not sure about?
That sounds like it would be testable. Chemo, I'm going to need you to find a horizon and then have somebody do a jet ski directly out to it.
Curve, I
so
need
they
assistance.
can
What's he
validate
saying?
the glass for us.
Hold on,
I'll
let
do
me
the
ask
jet ski
Curve.
part.
Curve, what do you think of this? What can you think
How are
of?
you going to get through the glass though? When you get to the glass, you're going to crash.
I don't know.
I'll take that risk.
I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak to the teammate. We're going to confirm and give you an answer. Soon enough. Being Curved here. That was a
I'll
good
only
one.
accept it if you can crash into the glass for me, Chemo. That's the only way I'll accept it.
By the way, this is how you win a debate against Chemo: is that he'll never concede, but when you get him to when you get him to the point where he has to, the last thing he has left is to say, "There's a big giant glass that's surrounding the horizon." That's how Chemo says, "I give up, you win."
No, we're gonna get back to the main topic. We're gonna get back to the horizon once the silliness stops, right? Once we understand the atmosphere acts like a magnification, Curve just presented the pencil and the straw magnifying, which is what we told you. And we can see in reality, we can see that the atmosphere acts like a lens, which is what we told you.
Curve might get upset if you misrepresent what he said.
Curve provided something fantastic, which I forgot to mention.
Everybody knows Chemo's a liar.
Well, you provided the magnification.
It's to be expected.
Chemo, does it make you feel good to lie about people and what they say to you? Like, that has to be a personal flaw that
it does.
It makes the worst things ever is how much you lie. Does it make you feel good to lie?
He's literally the most dishonest person I've ever met in my entire life. No exception, not exaggeration. Like, quite literally, the most dishonest.
Well, Curve brought up a very good point. I can't disagree with that point. That point
I thought
says,
Christians weren't supposed to lie, but you lie to me every single day, and you lie about what I say, you lie about what others say to me. Why are you such a bad Christian?
well, where I see is that we look for experiments, and we look for the hypothesis. And what we can see is that Curve has brought up a very good point, and we can see in real time that the straw and the pencil...
He's just a fundamentally bad person, I think, is the problem.
Yeah, Chemo, does it make you feel good to know that if the version of God you believe is real exists, that he would forever put you in hell for lying?
You know, it's quite possible he's not actually Christian. You know that, right? Like,
I know.
Yeah.
What is pleasing is that, like I say, Curve reminded us of an experiment, an observation, not an experiment, an observation we can do to show that there is magnification. And we can see that the pencil is not, or the straw here is not...
We live in a glass of water, obviously.
Well, how are you going to
And we have to look through the glass to see the horizon, Chemo. Excellent point you make there.
No, we're showing the magnification. Not the glass causing
the
magnification.
Glass and water in the curved glass,
Yeah. You said that your hypothesis is there's a curved glass between us and the horizon.
So let's think about this. If we remove the water, will we see magnification? No. So we know the cause to the effect curve. That's how we do science.
That was a pretty good Nathan Oakley impression. I gotta give it up. That was pretty good.
So we're gonna check out the cause to that magnification. Is it the glass? Or is it something else?
Well,
and we're going to find that it's not the glass curve. There will be no magnification.
Wait,
okay?
Timo, are you saying that all magnifying glasses
so we
have
can
water
manipulate the cause and remove the water to see if we have the same effect.
Brian, are you suggesting magnifying glasses don't contain water?
No, it's not the glass curve that's causing the magnification. Wow. Okay, it's the water.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that. If you remove the water, you will not get magnification. Do you understand that?
If you remove the curved glass, you won't get magnification.
No. If you remove the water and have the curved glass, you won't get magnification. No.
If you remove the curved glass, you won't get magnification. If you put a square glass in there, for example.
Yeah. So if you remove the water, that's the cause of the magnification.
But if you remove the curved glass, that's the cause of the magnification.
No, this will happen this will happen in a swimming pool, in a fish tank, in anything.
No, it won't happen if you change the actual curvature of that glass there. It will not happen.
Yeah, if I use a glass that's concave on each side, I'm going to get shrinking instead of magnification.
This is how eyeglasses work. This is how magnifying glasses work, and all that kind of stuff.
Welcome
and
to
how the atmosphere
works there.
He's reeling.
He needs to take the L.
Telescopes.
He did already. When he said there's glass between us and the horizon.
Careful, Chemo. They're hungry. They're like circling sharks. I've been killing them all morning.
We've just fed.
We're not even breaking a sweat.
Shut up.
I've been killing them all morning in here.
Between an offsides line and a boundary area.
Have you ever killed anyone, Jeremy? I mean, really, ever once in your life killed anyone?
Jeremy wants the D. Chemo's got the L. Jeremy wants the D.
So does his wife.
that was funny.
Hey, Jeremy, didn't you say that if you could what did you say? If you could only ever breathe ever again or suck dick ever again, then you would probably just pick breathing because your jaw gets tired when you suck dick.
It was funny when I said it.
It's funny when you said it like 18 times, and I never claiming I said this shit to you.
So the idea is you have to suck dicks in order to breathe. Is that the deal?
No, I told Kosho if he had to give up like drinking beer or blowjobs, that he told me he would rather give up blowjobs because they hurt his jaw, and he tried to like make some flip just now and come back on me, but it didn't work.
That's funny.
I don't remember the fuck you said, man. I actually believed you. I was like, did I say that?
What the fuck?
It is the kind of thing you would say that. Like,
Jesus Christ!
I get to you making that joke.
I mean, that's a TikTok special right there. Jesus.
Yeah.
Straight off TikTok. Yep.
Jesus, that dog looks retarded.
It's because of that beanie.
Veach, what broker are you doing these option trades with that you do?
Well, right now I haven't done anything in a long time. Right now
I did do them.
I have done them in the past. Like with E-Trade is what I did it with.
Okay, why not?
I told you this before.
If I had E-Trade, so if I had money in my E-Trade account, I could do this. You could show me how to do it.
Yeah, I think so. Depending upon if
is Robinhood even safe to use at this point?
Yeah, I think so. Why do you think they're not? Because
people were talking shit like they went bankrupt, they had a bailout, Robinhood's losing money or something. I don't know.
Well, I think it's safe.
Robinhood didn't get a bailout and they're not bankrupt. They did probably violate some SEC regulations by forcing trades on their people, and they're going to be in a part of a class action that may or may not go anywhere.
Well,
However,
they froze.
Entirely different.
They froze like a bunch of trading on GME that day, and I guess people are mad about that.